The Architectural Heritage Fund is a charity established in 1976 which supports community groups, not-for-profit organisations, other charities throughout the UK who are looking to find long-term sustainable uses for historic buildings at risk. We do that through giving advice, giving small grants at the start of a project, giving some larger grants for specific buildings through something called the Challenge Fund, and then through very large low-interest loans. The buildings we help range from tiny cottages to major ex-industrial sites, so a huge range of building type and of building era. Our principal remit is to see more buildings which are currently not in use become in use and benefiting their communities. One of the projects the fund has supported is Age UK Oldham and George Street Chapel.
George Street Chapel is a Grade 2 star listed building situated in the heart of Oldham's town centre on one of Oldham's oldest streets. George Street Chapel was built in 1815 by a group of people who broke away from the main Church of England church in Oldham, and it's the first recorded independent Methodist chapel that was built by the people themselves. In 1990, after 175 years of a working chapel, the last service was held with only 6 people in the congregation. For the next 13 years, the chapel remained empty and fell into disrepair. Age UK Oldham were actually looking for a place in the centre of Oldham where we could hold community events, and in 2003 it came up for sale.
The chapel, when we first saw it, was in a parlous state. The roof was leaking, the ceilings were collapsing, the brickwork outside was shaling and collapsing. Pretty much you can say the whole chapel needed a big dose of TLC.
We needed a significant amount of money to refurbish the chapel, and we were lucky enough to get some funding from the Challenge Fund.
The work we've undertaken here was particularly the roof, which needed completely renewing, new stone gutters front and back. We renewed virtually all the plaster work, and we've rebuilt the organ completely.
After 15 months, the building is now refurbished and we're ready to use it for a variety of uses, including events. Mainly, it's going to be a heritage resource centre where we're going to show the people of Oldham how people lived, but also how important the chapel was in their daily lives.
Dawes Twine Works is situated in the village of West Coker in Somerset. The building itself, it's 100 yards long, and it's the only twine works in the country which has got all of its machinery in situ. The twine works started making twine in the middle of the 19th century, and it kept running up until the late 60s, when artificial fibres meant it wasn't really viable to keep on using hemp and flax. It then got sold off, and we took it over in early 2009. Structurally, it was in a very bad state. It was falling over. The Carpenters Fellowship provided us with the miracle of being able to pull the building up straight. From then on, the money from the Architectural Heritage Fund really came into their own. With that money, we were able to restore the structure of the main building.
The first thing that we needed to address was the water coming in from the roof. We took all the roof tiles off and replaced all the roofing batten underneath. We replaced all of the broken tiles with reclaimed Bridgewater tiles. The end-3 sections of the building had completely collapsed, so we completely replaced that.
We also put the upright timbers in on the north side and were able to restore the workshop. When we finish the restoration, it's going to be a museum which shows people how rope used to be made. Not only have we got the older generation coming along to see what is happening, we've had the Scout group come in to do painting, we're going to have the junior school come in to do work here, and we're delighted because it means we've got the younger generation taking part as well.
Argos Hill Windmill in East Sussex is a really important windmill, Grade 2 star listed. There's very few windmills of such historic importance in the country.
Argos Hill Windmill dates back to 1837. It is a post mill, which is a type of windmill which rotates around a very large central post, and it is unique in this area. It was last a working mill in 1927, and it remained intact until 1987, when the hurricane extensively damaged it. What prompted the restoration was a proposal by Wealden District Council to mothball it. That galvanised everyone locally, and we formed a charitable trust. The Restoration Fund, of which the Architectural Heritage Fund forms part, is meeting an initial stage whereby all the principal timbers are exposed and repaired.
It's suffered very much woodworm attack, particularly as it's softwood. Of course, they've chomped away for many generations, which has meant that we've had to completely replace the upper side girts which carry the roof of the mill, which has been obtained from a local forest about 5 miles away.
This particular project will not only improve the local amenity by exposing a beautiful building, but it also provides a community challenge for the local people who have volunteered in large number to help, for example, with the painting of the new cladding materials that will go on the building. It will also be a focus for ramblers and the tourist industry to come and have a look at a building that sums up our industrial heritage.
Sevendrug Castle in Greenwich in London is a monument, and it's in the middle of a park. Again, a local group has passionately campaigned to save this building and to open it to the public, and they've done a great job.
Sevendrug Castle was built in 1785 by Lady James of Eltham to commemorate the achievements of her husband, Commodore William James, who was the Commodore of the East India Company's Marine and was later an MP and a director of the East India Company in London. It was acquired by local authorities in 1922. It's been through the hands of a series of local authorities and was in a pretty bad state when taken over by our trust in 2002-2003. There was a lot of ingression of water, lots of damage to the plasterwork, and it was in danger of going into total decay and decrepitude and being unrestorable. So I think the fact that the Heritage Lottery Fund and the Architectural Heritage Fund and English Heritage stepped in with funding was just really in the nick of time. The Architectural Heritage Fund helped to pay for the restoration of the windows, the lead on the roof, and re-pointing and improving the structure of the brickwork internally. So it's nuts and bolts, you don't see a lot of it, but it was absolutely vital.
Since opening in July 2014, we've opened the building to the public as a visitor attraction, so people can come in and look around the building, look at our exhibitions, have historical tours, but sort of main attraction is a spectacular view of London and around 7 counties on a clear day. On the ground floor we also have opened up a tea room, so that's open most of the week. We actually want the local community to be involved, have a say in how this place is run. We organise collaborative community events. We're also encouraging local community to become volunteers so they can actually help open the castle every day to the public.
There's an education development plan to link with local schools and link aspects of the history and other aspects of Sevendrug Castle into the national curriculum, and it's an extraordinarily important aspect of the way that Sevendrug meshes in with the local community.
One of the key differences the AHF makes is that we can be there for the whole life of a project, helping a group to see their project from its early stages right to its completion.
The support that we've had from the Architectural Heritage Fund has been absolutely essential.
We certainly could not have restored this beautiful building without their help.
For me, the Architectural Heritage Fund is absolutely vital. It does magnificent work in helping local groups achieve their dreams in restoring treasured and loved buildings.